So to start with, Gabriele, do you want to give us a bit of background about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Simon. Hi, everybody. I come from quant trading, worked for a hedge fund, then worked for an asset management company, ran a fund, became fund manager and head of investment of this company, then exited this company and started my own company. And I always had this idea, still keeping managing, running the fund as an external advisor. And I always had this idea that it shouldn't be necessary to have a distribution to actually run a fund for a trader, so that there should be a way to run inexpensively funds. And there was, of course, the big promise of Ethereum, which was not existent. So as soon as there was Genesis of Ethereum was December 2015. So in early 2016, I started coding the first smart contracts for creating funds on blockchain in the form of smart contracts. And actually, when a few months later, I got comfortable with the language and Solidity, and the first funds and fund factories were like operational, very first rudimental code. Then I started dedicating full time on that, and from there, like we've gone like a long journey. It's been a very long journey because it was just me at the beginning, and now I'm always less important. There's like co-founders, a core team, advisors, investors. So it's a different story now. And we've always worked on product. So now we're also getting to a stage where we are actually releasing our first product, which is an application of the protocol that we've designed. And then the second product, which is our core product, is also being kind of tested privately. So we always had this idea of getting to the product first and then to the market of investors later on at a more mature stage. And that's what we're doing, what we've been doing.
That's definitely a good way around of doing it, and probably pleasing to the market for you to have some form of MVP before launching some form of proper fundraising.
Yeah, it's paying off right now. At the beginning, it didn't, because it was not very fashionable. But right now, it's paying off. People appreciate the fact that there's a product, that they can test it, that users can go online and test.
So tell us a bit about the actual product itself. Obviously, we've spoken a bit about what's going on at the moment, but the actual product itself is has multiple layers to it, which I like.
So basically, what we've been designing is a protocol for asset management, decentralized fund infrastructure, to enable anybody to create funds seamlessly. So this goes from individuals to even corporates or banks who just connect to the APIs, so that they have the possibility to create entire asset management platforms on top of the protocol and distribute tokenized funds to their user base, actually.
Yeah, so like the panel that was here earlier talking about funds, each one of those funds would be able to exist on your platform, create a fund for themselves and operate it within your protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. It's an excellent idea. Tell us a little bit more about the layer above and how it works.
Yeah, so basically there's also a gateway for the users actually to access. So there's a front-end platform where users can just go plug and play. I mean, it's very easy. They basically choose standardized applications, which are the applications that we offer, and they have free access to the applications. And we don't charge them. They only pay for the gas costs of creating a fund. And also the funds themselves, we have changed the paradigm of how the managers are rewarded in the applications that we design. So we've taken off management fees and performance fees completely of the funds, and we've substituted them with a different paradigm, which is aimed at aligning more the interests of the investors and the traders, the fund managers, and we call it proof of performance. And basically, it takes into it's an algorithm embedded in the token and in the protocol, which compounds the assets of a fund, its performance, and rewards the managers in tokens. And the parameters are set in a dynamic way, and the token holders, which themselves are aimed at being traders and investors, set the parameters.
Mm-hmm. Given you might have multiple investment managers all creating their own funds on the platform, and you might have a mixture of performances, and some might be at a loss, how do you deal with the fund managers that are losing money throughout their performance?
Yeah, so in practical terms, we have, of course, new tokens get created and distributed to the traders, which means there's an inflation. But it's not an absolute value of inflation, it's a reward factor on the performance and the assets of a single fund. So in the case the fund doesn't perform, it's below its high watermark, there's no tokens generated for that fund. Mm-hmm. So basically there's no inflation. They don't get paid. Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you have the majority of the fund performance is negative as opposed to positive? What happens to the guys who are actually performing well compared to the pack of investment managers?
They don't get penalized by the bad performing funds. They have independent evaluation, independent assessment of reward, so they basically can make sure that they have an appropriate reward. Mm-hmm.
So from a tokenomics perspective, the fund managers that are losing money don't get paid, they don't get tokens. The fund managers that are performing well get tokens, and that's what drives the token itself.
Yeah, and also fund managers, of course, it's like we have a very, very liberal approach. They can access the protocol, the platform, they can create funds, they can run them. Even if you think about students at the university, they can create their own fund and create a track record and manage money for family and friends, so like a private fund, but they won't be able to participate to the incentives mechanism as long as they don't hold the token. So there's minimum amount of tokens that the managers must hold in their account. And yeah, there's also, this is a zero-sum game, so there's also a part where the users, some special activities like premium features of the platform are locked and are unlocked only if they hold the tokens. So it's like we don't want to introduce a friction for everyone. We want to enable users to actually access these new ways of creating funds and running them. And but in order to have the full product, they will need to hold the token.
Hold your tokens, yeah. So totally decentralizing the ability for any individual corporate to create and manage their own fund, which is basically the absolute concept.
Yeah, without like we want to be ourselves technology providers, so we don't provide the legal framework. If someone wants, they can create their own legal framework behind it. Some already have it, some management companies and stuff, but it's not necessary in order to operate the platform. And one important thing is that we're not liquidity providers for the funds, so we connect the exchanges. We actively work with the exchanges to actually make sure that as soon as someone creates a fund, it's plug and play and it's out of the box already compatible, so they can go and trade on different non-custodial exchanges. Right now we're working with non-custodial exchanges.
So I suppose you'll be pulling in APIs from exchanges, allowing your investment managers to use those APIs to pull in pricing data and execute transactions using those decentralized exchanges.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are the sort of exchanges that you focus on at the moment?
So, so one of the biggest decentralized exchanges is Finex. So we work with them, and they're also going to distribute the platform on their marketplace. So it's like a B2B2C concept where we design a product that is aimed for the end user, but it's going to be distributed through existing marketplaces that want to offer asset management on top of their existing services, like trading in this case. Sorry, what was the question?
Well, it was just more about the liquidity provider. What was the exchanges?
Yeah, absolutely. And also there's ERC-DEX, for example. It's a very promising decentralized exchange. And the Ocean. I mean, it's all 0x based relayers. We don't only work with 0x based relayers. There's also other decentralized exchanges that we're working with. I mean, it's like we try and cooperate with as many. Like we work with an open platform concept, and so we try and cooperate with like as many promising projects that either already have the liquidity or they have like strong teams and I mean also strong technical background, so that we can actually test with them.
And in terms of your corporate structure, obviously you're based in Lugano, and from what I heard earlier when you were talking to someone else, you have quite a few locations. Do you want to tell us about where your franchise is at the moment?
I mean, we're mostly a decentralized team, so especially the developers, we work remotely, and so we're based in Italy, Switzerland, the UK, and Denmark.
And how many people in the makeup of the team at the moment?
So we don't know exactly. No, but we've been growing since January. We've been growing sharply, and right now we're around 9. I mean, we're right now. I think if you count exactly how many people are involved in the team, you can count 11 people. Sure. Of the actual team, not counting advisors.
And obviously you're on the TokenMarket platform. Personally, we've talked about investing, and I'll probably invest or would like to. Where are you at the moment in the private sale? In your sale at the moment, what's going on there? Yeah,
so right now we're running private sales aimed at institutional investors. We are targeting the ICO for end of Q3, and we are gonna basically the whole idea is to actually get a nice soft cap, smooth coverage, and then I mean even more than that, and then go for the public ICO.
Sure. And with that, I presume some form of global roadshow of conferences and personal sacrifice of things for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that right now, when I'm in Lugano and I don't have many meetings, it almost seems like not working because it's very like fully concentrating without interruptions. But yeah, we've been traveling. Especially me, but also like we've been to Amsterdam with the team. Like we've had also an exposition, and also we've become in the last 3 months or 2 months more active. So people have seen us around.
It just grows and grows, and I think you're with the TokenMarket team, so that should be a fairly smooth process.
Yeah, we're very happy with them, and also like we're seeing organic growth because. In terms of where we are in terms of the pre-sale, where we are in terms of the product, where we are in terms of the team, like how we're moving, and now with the partnerships, the external cooperations that we have. So we are seeing this growth everywhere, which is not affected at all by the whole volatility of the whole market. We just see that. I mean, people love the idea that we already have a product. Partners can test with us straight away, so they appreciate the quality of what we do.
Excellent.
And so I think also the fact that we were selected by TokenMarket was a recognition.
It's an endorsement in itself, isn't it? Really, yeah. So only one more question from me, and then I'll open it up to the audience. So given we're running our own sort of investment management platform, intend to currently in the process of being, we've submitted our regulatory application for DLT license here. How do you think we could work with each other in terms of business association?
Yeah, that would be kind of an ideal business cooperation. You would just use our APIs, and on your regulated platform, you could actually use our solutions either in their own fully standardized form or in a customized form if you require, if you have special requirements. And you could basically go to market with your own application, which is going to be great at doing things like key management, KYC, asset management strategy, portfolios, all the rules of different investment management strategies, and just be fully operational with your with our backend solution in a few days. So you could just your developers could very easily plug and play.
Yeah, just walk in and switch the lights on. Well, we've talked about that already, and maybe there's a business partnership in the working. So I'd like to open it up to the audience to see if there's any questions for Gabriele. I think we're running on time as well. So thank you, Gabriele. It's been really a pleasure having you on stage.
Thank you, Simon.
And wish you all the best with the private sale and the product launch. It's been really nice to meet you.
Likewise.